Welcome to the Unlocked podcast, hosted by me, Julia Myron.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to discuss the particularly curious case of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who was suspended from the Nigerian Senate for 6 months because a few days ago she reported the president or of the Senate. She reported him and alleged that he sexually harassed her from the period of 2023 to 2024. And she also last week went on, I think, media of some sort to relay her experience of the sexual harassment. And how I found out about it was I'm not really on Twitter or Instagram a lot. And I first heard about it because BBC News had written an article saying that, and I'm going to share my screen so we can read the article together. BBC had written an article saying that the Nigerian lawmakers have suspended a senator for 6 months after she submitted a petition alleging she had been sexually harassed by the Senate president. I'll say Senator Natasha because I feel like I'm butchering her name. Senator Natasha first made the accusations against one of the country's top politicians, Godswill Akpabio, in an interview last Friday after dismissing her petition on procedural grounds. The ethics committee, the irony of the situation, the ethics committee acting very unethically, recommended Iduaghan's suspension, saying she had brought ridicule to the upper chamber of the National Assembly. So let's pause there. And brought ridicule to National Assembly. Nobody needs to bring ridicule to National Assembly. You guys have done that perfectly fine on your own by the way you have handled this entire situation. Now, if you are a lawyer or you've studied law, whatever, in the UK or the US, you know there are laws against retaliating or suspending or firing or in whatever form, retaliating against somebody who has maybe reported a crime, reported an abuse, reported a whistleblower or an harassment, whatever the case may be. And there are retaliation laws protecting these people. Now, yesterday I did thorough research on Nigerian law, and I did not find a single law that protects somebody that has a legal framework that protects a victim or somebody who's alleging harassment. And that is part of the problem, because if there was such a law in Nigeria, I'm telling you, Senator Natasha would have grounds and the Nigerian Senate chamber will be liable for retaliation, because this is a gross mishandling of the situation. One would suspect that somebody would wait and conduct proper investigation and interrogation of the situation before then, before suspending or whatever, make sure that the investigation is complete. But not only have they dismissed her petition for procedural grounds, I'm going to show you the actual petition she filed, that she did in fact go through the proper chamber. She did not just go to the media and litigate it in the media. She did file on March 5th, 2024, a petition to the Nigerian Senate chamber asking them to reporting this incident to them, this alleged sexual harassment claim to them. Now, we're not saying to just take her at her word, just believe her because she's a woman. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that there must be adequate investigation before any judgment is handed down. Because this 6-month suspension, it seems to me that it is almost a punishment for her coming forward. Now, somebody yesterday when I was perusing Twitter, somebody said this sets a dangerous precedent for those who would report sexual harassment case in the future. And I disagree with that statement. In the Nigerian society, this is not precedent. This is the status quo. Precedent implies that this will be the first of the situation. But if you really are among Nigerians and you know what is happening, you will know that for harassment claims and the Nigerian society, the status quo is victim blaming. If a young girl was sexually harassed on the streets, the society will say, well, what was she wearing? They will always, even though she was head to toe covered, oh, but she shouldn't have been out late at night. The repercussion is always on the victim. The victim always bears the blame and always bears the judgment. So this is not a precedent. This is the status quo. And this line of "you are embarrassing" either our family, or you're embarrassing our workplace, or you're embarrassing our our whatever it is the status quo. You hear people come out and say, I wanted to report that her husband, was inappropriate towards me. And then when the woman goes forward to report, they're like, so you're trying to break my home, or you're trying to embarrass our families. I remember I heard of a case where a sexual harassment happened at a school, and the principal said the student should not report because they covered it up basically because they would be embarrassing the school. There is always in the Nigerian society, there's always a motivation to cover up, to protect the victim, to protect the abuser, because we don't want that negative press. But the negative press, or the negative reputation, is by how you handle this case. This would have been an amazing opportunity for the ethics committee to show that Nigeria is moving forward and is finally beating the corruption and ineptitude allegations that is following Nigerians all over the world, wherever they are. But no, that's not what they did. They doubled down by suspending her. And if you actually watch the videos of Senator Natasha on the Senate floor, I think she went to speak, and you see how everybody's looking at her like, now why would you have done that? Or you should have just shut up. Or just shut up. Or you're a liar. You're the villain here. So another thing I actually really want to discuss is people are like, oh, this is feminism. This is feminism. This is not feminism. I do not want people to put it as a man against woman. This is common sense, critical thinking, and against unreasonableness, and basically being dumb. This is not how you conduct yourself, especially when you're the Senate chamber, you're the House of Representatives. You are the engine, the legislative engine, the law engine of the entire Nigerian government, of the entire Nigeria. You set the precedent, you set the stage, you set the example for everybody else to follow. I mean, if this is happening in our Senate chambers, then what chance, what option does the girl at work or at school who is being sexually harassed to come forward to relay her side of the story? Now, I heard that the Senate, her fellow senators are saying she should be suspended for 3 months. Why is she being suspended? Forget 3 months, 4 months. If you're saying that you're suspending her because she did not follow the correct procedure, then can't you wait to deliver that judgment until proper investigation has been made? If there's a way to do things, this just seems like, and by the way, what is going on with her claim? Because whether you accept it or not, a petition has been made. She has made a petition. She has properly and adequately filed a petition, and this is one page of the petition, and this is where it has the actual claims that she made. She has filed a proper petition saying that she has been a victim of harassment. What do you have to say about that, Senate chamber? What do you have to say about that ethics committee? Because you guys are beholden to the Nigerian people. You're supposed to be working towards making sure that in this current geopolitical zeitgeist, Nigeria is at least are being protected by the laws, laws are being developed to protect us for what is coming, we do not know. But instead, we have a senator who allegedly has been placed, he has allegations have been made against him. For the sake of the Nigerian people, you need to come out and clarify the situation. You need to come out and ensure that we do not continue to be disillusioned by the Nigerian government. But what I want to say, this is not about setting the precedent. This is the status quo. Whether you work as a maid in a house, or you work, now we see that even when you're up in the Nigerian chambers, you're still not protected. This is the status quo of Nigerian society. And until we start to come out and say, this is not acceptable anymore, we want full investigation into this matter. You're not going to sweep it under the rug. We need full investigation into this matter. But this is the thing, when power is at play, I mean, a lot of times Nigerian women will say, oh, at least when I'm married, I'm protected. But Senator Natasha was married. At some point, her petition says her husband was also within the vicinity of when allegedly the president of the Senate was harassing her. So even now, you see that when it comes to a huge amount of power, marriage or whatever other societal structures we think it's going to protect us, it's not going to protect us. It's not going to protect us, because this is a systematic problem. This is a societal problem. It's the way we look at victims. We cannot move forward. I mean, as a transitional justice practitioner, which is the section of international human rights law, I deal with designing legal frameworks. But one of the things I think about often, it doesn't matter how many legal frameworks I design if the society does not have the social will to enforce and hold themselves up to that standard. I think so. If the Nigerian Senate are saying, she did not follow adequate procedure, I think she should be allowed to refile her petition, and she should retain representation and refile her petition, because this investigation must happen. And what irks me most is the fact that women are complacent in this. You see, on the BBC News article, they were saying women were also protesting on behalf of the alleged perpetrator. When are we going to stop being our own worst enemy? When are we going to start using our hands to dismantle the structure and the systems of abuse set to oppress us? When are we going to start doing that? I mean, these kind of things you see in even Western countries. But the thing with Western countries is at least they try to hide it. They try to hide it because they know it's wrong. But in Nigeria, they don't try to hide it. They do it in the open because they know nobody's going to stop them. Our government is supposed to be beholden to us, but in our government, they don't care. So if somebody asked me, oh, what would you have done? If it's the United States, I'll say, well, you need to call your representatives. But I can't tell you in Nigeria to call your representative, because your representatives don't care. They don't care about your opinion. They're not worried about whether you're going to elect them because, alleged election rigging happens. They know the system is already rigged. So, then what do we do? I think my suggestion is we need to continue to speak. We need to continue to talk about it. We need to continue to say this is not acceptable. We need to continue to have the conversations amongst ourselves. And this thing of, oh, what if she's lying? Well, that's why you hold an investigation. Are you dumb? What if she's lying? Oh, it's just like when you arrest somebody for murder and the person says, oh, I didn't do it. And then you're like, oh, what if they're lying? They may be lying, so throw them in jail. Don't you understand? That's why you have a trial. So, but what if she's lying? She just wants to embarrass them. Then these are the freaking Senate. I mean, you guys, what is going on? You guys hold a proper and a comprehensive investigation. And if she is lying, then 1000% she should be held accountable. But there has to be an investigation. There cannot be power dynamics that are unfair and unjust. That's what we're saying. So I just hope whatever this video ends up doing, I hope one thing you can take away from it is to really just know that in Nigeria, we're not even close to where we need to be. So for some countries, as a transitional justice practitioner, we're already in, okay, how do we redevelop your legal and policy frameworks? But in Nigeria, we literally have to start from the bottom of reconstructing societal mindsets and understanding that certain things are not okay. We're literally starting. It's like some countries are in 2025, or let's not say at worst 1990. Nigeria is in like the 2nd century in terms of mentality. Like, it literally doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, if I had the solution, I would say it. But I know one thing that can certainly help is to continue to at least recognize that this is not okay. This is not right. And, hopefully she should not let this go. Whether she's suspended for 6 months or 1 year, when she comes back to the Senate, she needs to file the petition again, follow the proper procedure so they don't have any more excuses. And we need to pressure the ethics committee to launch a full and comprehensive and transparent investigation. Wow, this just got me in my feels. But thank you. If you lasted this long, thank you very much. I would like to hear your thoughts. Please comment. I would let us start an open conversation and dialogue in the comment section. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And what did they say? Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Okay. And let me also know if there's anything else you want to hear my 2 cents about, or what you want me to do more of. I left social media because I felt like Twitter and Instagram, and it's not a great place for me to have to really share my thoughts and have really impactful dialogue. And that's why I started this channel. So if there's anything you want me to talk about, or you want to hear more about my perspective coming from a legal background, let me know. In policy background, let me know. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.